So I always say that injuries are literally like trends because I have a spate where I suddenly see the same injuries coming through the door. And the current trend at the moment is shoulder impingement. So I don't know what all you guys are doing out there, but I'm seeing an awful lot of shoulder impingements. So basically we have what we call the subacromial space. Now this is a really small space. I mean, 1 millimeter to 1.5 millimeters. And within that space, there has to sit the rotator cuff tendons, the subacromial bursa, the long head of the biceps tendon, and the coracoacromial ligament. So there's already an awful lot in that teeny tiny space anyway. Now, if there is any alteration or degeneration to the joint, so alteration being if there's any injury, and degeneration if there's any osteoarthritic changes, this can then cause excessive pinching on these structures, the rotator cuff tendon, specifically the supraspinatus tendon and the subacromial bursa. So it creates that pinch almost, that's where we get that impingement. Now, this can be confirmed when we do a near sign test. So we do internal rotation of the arm with flexion, and kind of like you'll get the client just going, oh, there's a little bit ouchy in there, usually with a reduction of movement as well. So a really great way, an effective way that I like to treat this is with my client in sideline. So it allows me to get a bit more leverage, and it's kind of my job to almost create a little bit of gapping in that space, and just by bringing that humeral head down a little bit. And I do this by basically applying some traction at the wrist, externally rotating the arm, providing inferior glide at the head of the humerus, and abducting the arm at the same time. So there's a lot of multitasking going on. So I find that really, really effective. And also I don't ever count how many repetitions I do. It's very much feeling, working with my client when we're going beyond the point of bind and we're getting a little bit more movement in there and pain reduction. So you very much go with based on how it's actually feeling. So I find sideline a really effective way in treating subacromial impingement syndrome.